Welcome to Mora IFC. It is what it is. When cutting a trouser for an elderly person, there are things that you should pay attention to it. I'm going to explain all the important and the tips that you need to know when cutting a trouser for an elderly person. So without wasting much time, let's get started. I'm using a waist measurement of 37, the length 39, hip 42, and the lap or the thigh 25. So these are the measurements I'm using. Like I said, and elderly people, they have their ways of having their trousers, and you have to know all this. Very important. It's very important. So watch, I'm going to use the thigh, the lap. That's what I'm going to use for my calculation for now. For my folding, you fold your fabric into two, then your lap or your thigh 25, you divide it by 2, and that will give you 12.5, which is 12 and a half. And we're going to add half inch to it, or 1 inch to it. So 12 and a half plus half inch, that will give us 13 inches. I hope you understood. Elderly people want free room in their pants. Do you understand? That's how they want it. They want free room in their pants. So when you divide the thigh, you make sure you add half inch or 1 inch to it, to the lap, to the thigh. So these are my line. Let's go to the crotch line. We're going to use the hip. The hip is 42. You divide 42 by 4, that will give you 10 and a half. I'm going to use 10 inches. I'm not going to use 10 and a half. I'm going to throw the half away. The hip is 42. You divide it by 4, and that will give you 10 and a half. But I'm using 10 inches for the crotch line side. So here the lap is divided by 2, which is 12.5. Then I'm going to add half inch or 1 inch to it. Give it extra room. We are still on the crotch side. So I'm going to measure 2.5 inches over there. 2.5 inch. From here, whatever I'll get, I'll transfer it to the top. Then I mark. I'm drawing a straight line over there. You draw a straight line over there. So the length is 39. So you're gonna add 1 inch to it for the length. The length is 39 plus 1, that will give you 40. So that's what I'm going to use now. The length, you add 1 inch to it. Then I'll draw a straight line over here. Let's go to the crotch side. You transfer it here, the same measurement. I'm going to give it a shape. Other people, I don't normally give them a shape, so you can give them like half inch of a shape or maximum 1 inch of a shape. Do you understand? You can just give them half or no shape or 1 inch over there. So you're going to draw it. You can see I didn't get to the ankle side, so you measure like 10 inches above, 10 or 11 inches, you measure it. So from that line, it's supposed to be straight. That 10 or 11 inch that you're gonna mark from the bottom, it have to be straight. From there, then you blend in it in. You blend it brofi erade. So I've seen you just have to give it a small shape. From the bottom side, that part have to be straight. Do you understand? From the bottom side, that part have to be straight. So I'm transfer here. I'm using 8 inches rather, 8 inches or 8.5 or 9 inches. Other people, they like their trouser be open, So I'm going to use the same thing. I measure here. Then I make sure that I'm using my 8 inches or 9 inches that I mark. Then you mark. They need free room, They need free room. So this part have to be straight. So after that, then I just curve it in just like that. Use your curve rule. Use your curve rule. I'm just using my hand so that you come and say that I don't have some, so mini curve. I don't have a ruler and blah 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 stuff like that. That's why I'm using my hand. I have all the equipment there. So let's come to the crotch side. Our waist is not straight, so I'll go down by ½ inch on a straight line where we put our zip. I'll go by ½ inch over there. This part you can draw a straight line, or you can use your curve ruler to just give it a curve. And from this part also, I'll go in by ½ inch. You can see sort of that part is too small. I hope you can see. So I measure my 2 inches over here, then I connect them. You're gonna see that part later, so don't worry. So I just join the points right here, just like that. So we finish with the front. So I'm gonna cut, but there are certain part that I'm not going to cut yet. I want to show you something. So let's look something here. This part, you can see I've not cut this part, and I've not cut this part, and I've not cut this part as well. I just leave it like that, as you can see. So the waist measurement, the waist. Let's talk about the waist first. I almost forgotten the waist. The waist, you divide the waist by 4. I'm not going to give it a pleat on this trouser. I'm not going to give it a pleat. So you divide the waist by 4. From this line, you can see the way I put it in, and you mark. Then we're going to add 1 inch for show your allowance there. You can see. And from there, I'm going to measure to give it a shape of the hip. Can see all that part? I have not cut it yet. I just want to show you something. I don't cut that part yet until I cut the back as well. So I'm going to place it. You can see right now, after cutting it, when you fold your fabric back again, the big part is going to be at the bottom. So the waist will come at the bottom side. Do you understand? When you fold it, after cutting the front, you're going to see that there are certain parts will be big and some small, some parts will be very small. So you need to flip your front. The waist side will come to the bottom and the bottom will go to the top, just to economize the fabric. Do you understand? It is what it is. So I'm measuring 2 inches over here. This 2 inches is going to be my sewing allowance. This 2 inches is going to be my sewing allowance for the front, for the back, everywhere. So this 2 inches is going to contain my sewing allowance for everything. It is what it is. But there are something here I want to show you. There are something. We remove. So you can see that I'm checking. I just want to make sure that my lines, these are the front, this is the front. You place it on another fabric. So here on a crotch line, you can see I'm going to add 1 inch over there. This part, I'm going to add 1 inch. Then I'll go down by ½ inch. Have you seen? So only that part. Remember the front we use 2.5. So we add 1 inch. That will give us 3.5 for the back. So the crotch side for the back will be 3.5. So when it comes to waistline, you go up by 1 inch. Waistline will go up by 1 inch. You can see. So I just cut. There's something I want to show you here. So when you're cutting, when you reach to where the lap is, you know that part is big, so you need to give a space, like you need to give a little bit of space. Then you cut. Give it a little bit of, there's a space, you can see there's a space over here. For that part, I left a space. That's a space that you see. Sorry for my big head, so I make a notch over here. In fact, my head is not big, it's not big. So you just have to draw this line. So I put the front back, then I measure 2 inches over here. On the hip side, you measure 2 inches. You know, this 2 inches is a miracle. Any measurement that you do, you measure 2 inches over there, it's gonna work. I'm telling you. So when you measure 2 inches over there, it's always working. No matter how the waist the person is, the hip, you measure 2 over there, ever working. So from this, I'm measuring 1.5 here. Then I connect. So after I've cut this, I'll put this fabric somewhere. And I'm gonna arrange it again. Charlie, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, like, and share. Tell a friend about more IFC. It is well. Now I'm gonna cut. Look something here. The side, the shape side. I'm now gonna cut that part. So you make sure that the ankle, the bottom side, they are straight. Everything lay flat there. You come to this side. You give it a shape. The back is always longer than the front. You give it a shape. That's it. Remember the front, we came in by 1/2 inch, so now I'm going to cut the 1/2 inch for the front. You can see now I'm cutting the front, and I'm also cutting this side, giving a slide shape for the front, 1/2 inch away. Then the hip, I'm only cutting the front, not the back. I'm cutting the front, I'm giving it a shape over here, not the back. The back is not included when I'm making a waist, because I'm going to make a dart at the back. So when we make a dart, that place will shift. So I don't normally give a shape for a trouser back, because when I'm making a dart, that dart will form the shape for me. So I'll just give it a shape here. I hope you understood. It is what it is. So you can see both of them, I'm going to cut both of them the same thing together, just like that. So we're done. More IFC, it is what it is. Please tell a friend to chat. I post videos every Wednesdays and Saturdays. New tutorial, new styles every Wednesday and Saturday. Like I said, other people want their things to be, big but not too big. Do you understand? Big. That's why I use 8 inches. Big but not too big. Just a moderate and fitting. I have a small room inside. Free air. To go. Baby. It is what it is. So the pocket, you can measure 1.5 or 2 inches. 1.5 or 2 inches for the opening. Make it 2 inches for elderly people. They want everything big. And I'll make here 7.5. I'm only cutting the front too, not the back. The back is not included, only the front. Then you fold it like this. You put fusing over there. put fusing over there, and that's for the back. I just give it 5.5 or 5 inches. That's why I do it. I just fold 5 inches or 5.5, and it's always worked for me, 5 or 5 inch, 5.5 for the dart for the back. I don't know where I got it from, but I always use that measurement, and it's always worked for me. It is what it is. So you make a dot over there, and so this is how our dart is going to form. The longer of your dart should be supposed to be 3.5 inches, 3.5. So it's left with the pocket. Other people, you need to give them a space in their pocket. They need space. Don't make it so tiny. So here you can calculate your pocket. You can cut like 15 inches or 15.5 inches for your pocket, and then 7 inches or 7.5 inches. So these are the pockets. You fold into two like this. Give me a thumbs up, like, share, tell a friend about more IFC. It is what it is. So these are 7.5 inches I'm marking, or 7 inches. You just have to give them more room. Their pocket, you other person there. When you're cutting a trouser for another person, you make it skinny for him. I'm telling you, you go see Pepe. Just have to give me a space. Make it moderate for him. Do you understand? Not skinny, give me a space. Ask me a question. So the pocket, the wrong side and the wrong side will face each other, or the right side will face each other way, but they have to face each other. Do you understand? Then you fold it into two. And you give it a shape, just a small shape. And because we are using this gold for the pocket, we need to cover up certain part, which is very important. So I'm going to use this. I think this one is very small, so I'm going to use this for the flap of the zip side. So I'll use this. I think this one is enough. It's like 13 inches long or 12 inches long. It's okay. So we're going to place this one here. Do you understand? Place it there for the pocket cover. It's because we are giving a different color of pocket. If you are using a lining, a black or any color, you just have to cut this one. You fold here, you top stitch to this part. Then I have a tutorial how to make this pocket, so you have to check it out. So these are the flap. So more IFC is what it is. Please show some love. Thank you so much. I will appreciate your love and everything. God bless you all, my new subscribers, my retainers. God bless you all.